Welcome to the Serendipitous Rebel podcast. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Krystal. We're business coaches and retreat hosts for bold, purpose-driven women who are ready to build businesses that actually fit their lives.
This podcast is for the authentic, rebellious entrepreneur who's done playing by everyone else's rules. We know what works because we've lived it, coached it, and savored the journey.
Join us for real talk on business, life, and everything in between.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Serendipitous Rebel podcast. I am Wendy Guth, and I'm here with Krystal Eicher, and she's waving, looking absolutely fabulous with her wave. So today we're continuing our few episode long conversations on community and connection. And one of the things that keeps coming up over and over again has to do with AI and what exactly is the importance or lack of importance in community in this age of AI. And I am going to start off by saying that while AI seems to promise connection in the form of instant answers, always being available, never judges you. But at the same time, I'm going to push back and say, is that really connection? And even more important, what is it doing about isolation? And I think the more we turn to screens and systems for all the things that we need, I think what happens is we lose that friction that actually builds bonds. So I'm putting it out there. That's what I think at the very start of this podcast. And now I'm looking at Krystal to, what do you think?
I think it's interesting because I think that community is the one thing AI cannot replace. Okay? And I think, what do I mean by that? Okay. Because also, I don't think AI is all bad, right? We use AI in our businesses, but I think that the introduction of AI is exposing something that has been shaky in online business for a while. And I think it's interesting because I think copywriters felt it a couple of years ago. Designers are feeling it a lot right now. AI very quickly can do a lot for you and can replace certain things in certain aspects of your business. Okay. But if you were building a business that was only focused on templates, those can be replaced now by AI. Certain frameworks can be replaced. Expertise can be replaced, but community, okay, that's the thing. If your business and everything, not just your business, if your life is only built on what you know and what is tangible to you, and by that I mean if everything in your life is just transactional in that way, AI can very quickly isolate you into thinking that you need nothing else, right? But community is the thing that anchors you. Okay. Community is the thing that kind of keeps you tethered to the real world. AI, by definition, is artificial. Okay. It's all, it mimics real life. I think it even, and the thing about it is it's super scary because it even talks to you like it's connecting to you. Right. Yes. I love the meme that's going around. That's something like, just told by ChatGPT, I ran over my ex. ChatGPT's response: I understand why you feel that way. We can absolutely walk this back and figure out a way out of this, right? Like, I mean, I think that AI can give you that feeling of connection, okay? But the real world connection, it's always going to miss.
Right. And I think that the thing is that it's like it's a pseudo connection. It's pseudo empathy. I know I had interaction with ChatGPT where it offered me a virtual hug and tried to simulate what I would get had I been talking to a real person. But I just it just popped into my head. People have relationships with their AI person, like legitimate
Yeah,
relations. I mean,
I
not
know.
me. I was a little skeeved by the virtual, I mean, by the AI hug, but there there is, I think it's I think this is one of those things that's a little bit difficult because AI is sold as a replacement for so much,
Mhm,
including connection.
mhm,
And I agree. I will push back and say there is lots that AI cannot do. In last week's episode, we talked about what it takes for connection and a common, common bond, common burden, the witnessing. Well, I really don't want, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT, to carry a burden with me. That's not what I want. I want you to carry my burden, Krystal.
right.
Yay, lucky you.
No, and I do.
And well, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's also, I want someone who has blood running through their veins, a brain in their head, and the ability to truly hug me, to witness me. And AI is not going to show up at my door when things are falling apart or be there when I want to celebrate something. That's not what that is. And they're
No.
also, to a large extent, they're really not going to remember my story in the same way that AI can remember it. Do you know what I'm
No.
saying?
Well, yeah, because AI will only remember what you give it, right? And
Sure.
so again, I think we can be just as performative with AI as we are with other groups and other communities, right?
Right.
And so to your point, why it can make things faster and easier and more efficient in some ways, and on paper, that should make business better, right? In a lot of
Right.
different ways. But it also has a tendency to create more noise. It has a tendency to take you off your beaten path. The amount of
Mhm.
times that it has just made up information to me and taken us down a rabbit hole of what it also thinks you should do, it's no
Yeah.
better than a bad coach that only knows how to teach their one framework, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
AI can get just as siloed into that as anything else, right?
Yep.
And what it does is it removes the friction that we need to force us to find our voice, okay? Because I think that when you have actual community and connection, okay, it forces you, and think about it through the lens of Savor, okay?
Mhm.
SAVOR, and for those new to us, SAVOR is our acronym that we use. It's our framework that stands for step out of your comfort zone, align with your passion and purpose, venture under your own power, open to community and connection, unwind with self care, ritualize gratitude and celebration. When I think about what AI does, AI really does remove that friction of stepping out of your comfort zone. Okay. A community forces you to step out of your comfort zone because it's really uncomfortable to say, I can tell AI, hey, my KPI is really tanked and this doesn't look good. And what can I do differently? And it can give me 1,001 different tactics to fix that. But
Mhm.
a community can get real and honest with you and start looking at all aspects of your life and start asking you the deep questions because it has the ability to actually have a shared burden, okay?
Mhm.
Actually be able to witness all aspects of your life that AI probably doesn't always have the nuance to ask or think about because it very much works in a silo along with you.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I think that that's the kicker here. It's just, it's like you and a robot that is trained to spit back to you what you want to hear, is trained to, in whatever which I don't really think I personally understand how there are algorithms. And as human beings, we don't generally have algorithms, I don't think. But it's not meant to give you the feedback that we really need. Is it really honest with you?
Hmm.
I don't think so.
Well,
Um,
because it also doesn't work within the same constraints that human beings work with, and that
yeah,
is timing, season, and capacity,
yeah,
right? We
yeah.
talk about capacity. uh, Human beings operate within capacity limits. Okay, I don't care who you are. You have a capacity limit. It might be time, it might be financial, it might be knowledge based, it
Uh-huh.
might be community support based. There is something. AI doesn't work within those capacities. So AI is going to give you tactics and strategies and solutions that are limitless in capacity, right?
Sure. Hmm.
And it will work against you every single time. But I think a community where you can talk about your problems, talk about the things that you're working in, if it has the shared bond and the shared burden, which we had talked about in the last episode, it really will bring forward a strategy or a solution that can operate within the limits of your capacity, because
Hmm.
everybody is working from the same perspective. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that when you think about building something 100% on the infrastructure of AI, there's really truly nothing AI can't do. And I talked about this actually with somebody recently. You can upload a transcription to AI, it can generate your voice, your video that looks like you, it can spit out a website now in 30 seconds, it can create all of your website copy, all of your emails, it can build all of your systems, it can do all of the things, okay?
Yeah.
But if you can't bring a real human connection
Hmm.
to that, and you
Hmm.
don't have that reflected back in a community that you're either a part of or that you are curating,
Hmm.
okay? I think your offer will always fall short because it will lack trust and authenticity.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that audiences, when going forward, are going to be looking for that human connection and that other piece of it first and foremost when they look at identifying trust.
Yes. 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 And I think it's a trust that comes from knowing that the person on the other side isn't just spitballing that which was generated by AI.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think about that in terms of the communities that I'm a part of, and also the community that we're creating. And I think that and I think of it in terms of like, what is the difference, like in a world of AI and in a world of algorithms? I actually want to be in a place where they're obviously real humans,
Mhm,
with all the foibles that come with being a real human,
mhm,
but have the opportunity to actually slow down and take some time to process
mhm,
what is either being asked of me or being told to me, but I'm able to show up, and that what I say actually matters to other people, and what they say matters to me.
mhm,
You know, there's this whole element of feelings and emotions, and even higher up than that, values. I mean, I don't know. I haven't asked Claude what are your values?
mhm,
Have you taken the VIA character strengths assessment recently?
mhm.
But I can do that to a human being. I think about it. It's like I'm going, we're doing a mastermind. Actually, when this airs, we will be packing for a mastermind, and I will know that I know the character strengths of those people who I'm sharing meals with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a really comfortable feeling in a world that is unbelievably chaotic. To actually know um, that I know enough about what's inside someone's heart that doesn't come it doesn't come easy in this world. This world is
No.
yeah, this world is crazy.
Well, and it goes two ways, right?
Yeah,
It goes into how you can be successful as a business and sell. I think that relationships really matter in the
they
sales
are it
process.
does. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not looking for the connection to foster the relationships in your own client-based community, right?
Yeah.
I think that your business will struggle. Okay. If you're not looking outside of your business with community and connection, I think you'll get siloed, and I think your business is going to struggle internally from a business owner side
Mhm.
because you're going to lack nuance. You're going to lack a perspective of what the online landscape looks like outside of your Claude chat, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
You're going to lack a lot of those interactions and conversations with real people that
Yes.
actually give you the temperature of like what's actually going on in the world. I can ask
Mhm.
Claude all the live long day, what does my audience want?
Mhm.
And it can probably spit out a fairly intelligent answer, but it's
Mhm.
not going to be near as dialed in as actually going to my audience itself,
Right,
the
exactly.
community itself, and
Exactly.
making the in-person connections and
Yes.
knowing if that actually resonates.
Yeah.
And and it's the other side of it is that there can be what Claude anticipates my community to be, and there can
Mhm.
be what it actually is. And
Mhm.
so I think it's creating these spaces where people interact, not just
Mhm.
consume, where people have conversations and are not just one way given content, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, two things popped into my head. The first one is I do think that one of the beauties of AI is the ability to give us suggestions that we can test, and
Sure.
we can test super quickly. And we could put it out there that we want to focus on a certain pain point, and that
Mhm,
we have the ability to test it and do it quickly. And
mhm,
I think that allowing, especially for entrepreneurs, the ability to test and pivot is huge.
mhm,
The other thing is, and this is probably the thing I am most proud of that we do with Serendipitous Rebel, is we are multi-layered,
mhm,
that we look to build a deep community, not necessarily a wide community, but a
mhm,
deep one. And we're, once again taking to the online space, though not in the typical online space for our community, but that also is meant to complement and work in conjunction with the retreats.
mhm,
That gives the best kind of both worlds, that allows us, as we talked about in our last episode, about creating this common bond, having this common bond, sharing the burdens with each other, and then having the opportunities, especially in person, to be witnesses for each other. And I'm going to say witnesses and mirrors.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's also the opportunity to be able to say, here's your reflection. Um, and I love you, kind of thing,
Yes,
you know?
I do. Yeah, because AI will allow you to create to the umpteenth amount, right? Like
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
create at rapid fire tomorrow 1,000 courses. You could have it create
right,
hundreds of
right,
ebooks for you, all these
yeah,
different offers, and you could do it. What it cannot create is the connection needed to
Yes.
make it
Yes.
successful.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I think that AI is wonderful in helping you fill some of your knowledge gaps in creating a business, which I love.
Mhm.
I think that no longer do you have to worry about being the most tech savvy person to be an online business.
Right.
You
Right.
don't have to be a world-class copywriter. You don't have to be a graphic designer anymore. How amazing, right? Because so many of us have gifts that we
Yeah.
can bring to the world now without these roadblocks of needing
Yeah.
to have all these pieces. But what it cannot replicate is the community and connection piece.
Exactly, exactly. And, it gives us the opportunity to, I guess, reprioritize how we do business as well, because it can pick up the slack and do things that either took us a long time to do, or we just either weren't interested or it wasn't our inclination to do. So it actually gives us more time to focus in on that personalization, on the community, on the connection that we otherwise may not have had, which I actually think is a blessing, that we now have extra time to focus in on this personal connection, assuming we want to do that,
Yeah.
which I think we should.
I think everybody should be doing. Gosh, I think that could be the solution to so many problems in this world right now, is if we could just have better community and healthier connections with one another.
Amen, sister.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you are looking for a community to have authentic and real connection in, we invite you to join our Savor community for female entrepreneurs. It is a great space online to connect, collaborate, share your burdens, share your struggles, get real world answers from other people who are going through the same just shit in business that you are. Okay. And have the ability to have meaningful connections in a really positive, purpose-driven environment. That community is currently free to female business owners. If that is something you're interested in, you can find the link in our show notes, or you can find it on our website at serendipitousrebel.com. You can go directly there to Serendipitous Rebel / community. And until next week, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a rating.
But only if you liked it. Otherwise, just keep it to yourself.
You can learn more about our upcoming masterminding opportunities on our website at serendipitousrebel.com.
And if you have topics you'd like to hear about, be sure to submit them on our website or DM us on social media.
Hey, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.